My girlfriend bought a TV bench and discovered that her living room floor was not really level. It was so off that the adjusters on the legs of it couldn't adjust enough. So I designed small feet that look the same on the outside but have different depths on the inside. We tested a lot of them on the legs and eventually we got it level. I thought this was a nice solution, but there were lots of different depths that didn't get used, which I felt was a bit of an unnecessary waste. So I went back to the computer and designed one that was adjustable with a screwdriver. We tested it and it works. I'm not sure what to do with this new design though. Should I make variations for different kinds of furniture legs? Or should I perhaps turn it into a product? What do you think? My son noticed that the strap adjuster on our Quest 2 controller was broken. He said this was quite a common thing to happen, so I thought it would be a fun challenge to replace the part. I didn't realise you could take off the whole strap and thread on one exactly like the old one, so I designed one that would just snap on without having to take the controller apart. It took a few different designs, but we eventually got one that works. It's easy to put on, tighten, won't pop off during use, easy to loosen and also take off. If you want one, they're in black, grey or white on Etsy. My sister had a wonky shelf in her cupboard because one of the supports was missing. She knew that I had a 3D printer and asked if I could copy one of the other supports. I measured it, designed it and printed out a few in different orientations since I didn't know if they'd be strong enough without the grain running along the length. We put it in the cupboard, tested it and it works. Give me a shout if you need anything similar. My son wanted a bottle rocket, but all the instructions we found were very complicated, so I made a really simple version. I found an old bag valve, measured that and the opening of a soda bottle, modelled a simple stopper and printed it out. I glued in the valve and taped a couple of layers of sellotape around the stopper, put the whole thing in the soda bottle, attached the bike pump, pumped, and boom, it worked, very much to my son's delight. My girlfriend's daughter was curious about the heights of mountains around the world, so I found this image where the high parts are bright and the low parts are dark. I mapped this onto a sphere and printed it out, added a nice holder, and it looks and feels great. I bought these Kugis boxes to tidy up my bathroom, but since they're all stacked up on top of each other, I had to lift them off to get to the bottom one. I needed a shelving system, so I bought some wooden poles and screws and designed some 3D printed parts to join the wood together. It worked, but, as my girlfriend predicted, was very janky and wobbly. So I adjusted the middle parts and tied diagonal wire to stiffen it, but it's still very twisted. It'll do. My girlfriend showed me these salt and pepper shakers that she liked. I thought it would be nice to surprise her. I found a container that I'd printed out before which had good threads, stretched the top and bottom of it, put on a little texture on the outside and printed them out. She was really pleased. What percentage of a filament reel ends up as waste? I collected every piece of support, botched print, or print that was just plain wrong in a bag. My original reel of filament was 1.1 kilograms. Once the reel was finished, I weighed the waste bag, 0.4 kilograms. So that means 37% of the reel is wasted. My son got a gel blaster, no advertising, but had difficulty getting the gellets into the holder. So I made a simple funnel that also works with soda bottles. It was also difficult to measure the growing gellets, so I made a spoon that has holes that are the correct diameter. No more waiting for the fun. My girlfriend has a robot vacuum cleaner which can move down the bumps in her apartment, but it just can't get back up them. I measured everything and 3D printed a whole bunch of over-engineered tests, but in the end it would have been enough with a simple piece of wood.